Okay then, Helldivers, we are back and we have got loads to go over today, as it appears that the decay rate is tanking substantially and we're now finally starting to make some progress with the major order for liberating Fori Prime. On top of that, the QA lead talks about a lot of things, including the Ultimatum and some potential changes that they might well be working on with regards to the Flamethrower. And finally, we are going to talk about the series that you guys have all been waiting for with J.O.E.L, and the Baskinator has got some information with regards to that one. With that being said though, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It'd be so greatly appreciated. And make sure you check out our sponsor, Instant Gaming, the platform where you can get your video games cheaper for PC and consoles with the best deals, offers, promotions and discounts. Links in the description to get your games a little bit cheaper today. And for those of you guys who are wanting to get involved with our giveaway, it is very simple. We're giving away the top bundle of super credits. Head down to the comment section, put a purple, red and a yellow heart in the comment section and it'll enter you in. With that being said, let's dive into the game and see what it is that is happening right now. So starting off, take a look at the Galactic War table. We can see now that we are finally 6.5% in a liberation for Fori Prime, and this planet has been a notorious battle indeed over the last 3 days. It appears that Meridia is getting awfully close to Moradesh as we make its way past Angel's Venture now. It is pretty much well and truly sled past it, and we are making our way towards the next iteration for the Illuminate storyline. As for right now though, everybody does seem to be fighting over on Fori Prime, where we take a look at the Helldivers companion app and we can see that the decay rate has now finally dropped to 5%, which is half of what we've been experiencing up until this point. With the major order being at a basis of common samples being at 92% completion, we are near enough there and should be there by the end of the day. 2 days remaining will mean that we are going to have a substantial tank in the decay rate for us to be able to complete the Fori Prime major order. I would suspect that J.O.E.L is likely to drop this down to maybe a 1 or 2% decay rate, given the way that this thing is moving based in the next 24 hours, which will mean we'll have a full day to liberate Fori Prime based on how the statistics are actually going. Whether it actually works that way, we'll have to wait and see. It's been a bit of a weird venture inside of the major order at the moment, but nonetheless, that's what we're working with. Your superstore right now has got some very, very cool items in it, and it is available for the next 24 hours with 3 pages of very noteworthy armor sets that you guys may well want to get your hands on. But with that being said, let's get behind the scenes because the QA lead has had a lot to say. So starting off, it appears that Jojo, aka the QA lead as far as Arrowhead development goes, has been responding to people's talks about the Ultimatum. Now we obviously know, as he confirms right here, that the Ultimatum projectiles vanish sometimes. They are currently looking into it, but reproducing it is deeming to be quite annoying. It does appear that the likelihood is the Ultimatum won't be fixed for quite some time, as they are struggling to get that reproduction as to why it is that it just keeps disappearing, and solidly confirms that at the moment it seems to be a bit of a 50-50 split exactly of the ult being totally OP or totally useless, and this is obviously going to be the case. Now where it gets concerning is where the QA lead states right here that this is my personal opinion, but it has not come to dominate loadouts or trivialize the game entirely. It maybe is a bit too useful, but I think for now it's fine for it to be as it is until elegant solution can be found. There's plenty of other weapons that could do with some love first, I say. So what we could be seeing in the future is a nerf to the Ultimatum, which after the original nerf that we already experienced with regards to the ammo consumption of things, it is deeming to be a little bit worrying. I think if they do tank the damage output on the Ultimatum, it's pretty much going to write it off and probably pee off a hell of a lot of people within the community of Helldivers, but we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen. As it stands right now, they're not going to be touching the damage output for this thing until they are ready to actually get this whole Ultimatum whiff completed and fixed. As it states right here, nice clear footage, thank you. I was hoping it would be maybe badly telegraphed hitboxes, but some of those hits were dead on and we will keep digging. So apparently this has been happening for both the recoilless and E80s as well as the commando. It's not only the Ultimatum, so there might be a little bit more of a dig that they need to actually rundown. Hopefully the ultimatum stays as it stands, and I think that actually for what it is pretty damn useful, and it works in a very good narrative. And even though they have tanked the ammo consumption all the way down, so we are spawning with one of them now, I do think that it is still a pretty viable source to be able to utilize. They wanted it to be like the noisy cricket from Men in Black, and my lord, this little thing definitely kicks out a punch, so job achieved. Moving forward though, somebody asked this question right here: would have more technical details, but since launch fixed with Escalation of Freedom, they read after the revert that flamethrower particles don't always do the damage that they should. DPS is approximately half what it's supposed to be doing, plus the flame particles don't spawn at the muzzle but 5 meters away, meaning you can not only shoot through walls but trap the particles inside an enemy for even more damage than seemingly intended. And there was a response to this one, as the QA lead stated that there's no promises, but they've made a post-it note to investigate it on Monday, so they could see some changes coming to the flamethrower moving forward, which is not really a good thing for me personally. I think that the flamethrower does exactly as it is intended to do. It does a good job. I absolutely love it, and I'm really enjoying it at the moment. A lot of you guys will know I have no bigger pleasure right now than standing under a bile titan and spraying out a flamethrower up into that little pocket. So yeah, nonetheless, we have got to talk about the new series though, which involved J.O.E.L. The last one that we had was him talking about his most favorite moment inside of the Helldivers 2 storyline right now. We know this is going to be a series, and a lot of you guys have been waiting for the next episode to actually make an appearance. Now, the Baskonator has confirmed that the video team is stretched pretty thin most days, but they have recorded all of the footage and they're now currently editing it. They do all of the videos though, from the major order social ones to the know your enemy ones, to all our trailers and so on. Wish I could help them more, but this does confirm that we should be seeing a second episode to that series coming up soon at some stage, as they are currently in the editing process. I don't know about you, but it was, for me, probably one of the greatest media pieces that they've actually released with the whole narrative of J.O.E.L. I'm really intrigued to see what it is that they do for the next one. And our biggest piece coming from the Reddit right now is something to talk about, as which overpowered armor passive are you taking? We've got a Kimbo sidearm, we've got the Stalker skin, and Stim Addict. Now, these are some just obvious concepts that have been hit in the Reddit, but you guys really seem to enjoy it, with the Akimbo sidearm where you can dual wield the secondary weapon and melee weapons included, with a slow down on the secondary reload speed by 25%. A lot of you guys have been wanting the Akimbo movement for a little while. We know that you love your Senator. We know that you love your Senator. But yeah, would you be running that one? Or would you potentially be running the Stalker skin, where it grants invisibility when crouched, reloading, or inputting stratagems, which seems a bit overpowered to say the least. I know they're meant to be, but realistically, if you're doing it when crouched, reloading, and inputting stratagems, that's an awful amount of time to be invisible, and whether that would actually work really well as a cloaking movement, we'd have to wait and see. And Stim Addict, where it increases the movement speed by 40%, now auto stim when you get to 10% health. Now, I quite like the idea of the auto stim based on the factor of the 10% health movement. It means that you'd have to keep your stims up to be able to do it, and it would pretty much run the economy down quite a lot. This also means though that you probably would not be able to die unless you took a severe amount of damage with the low health, and it just completely bypassed that 10% movement. The increase in 40% is a little bit crazy though. I think the only thing that makes this game pretty much the most enjoyable thing to known to man right now is the fact that even though these maps are relatively large for the most part, we can still get around them quite quickly, especially with the FRV, and even just on foot, it doesn't take that long to be able to maneuver around the maps. 40% speed increase would be absolutely bloody ridiculous. So let me know which one of the three you guys would prefer if you could input anything into the game. But take a look at your top comments. You guys had a lot to talk about this time, and some really large comments indeed, but some of which you guys really had a lot to go over. This first one right here states, new stratagem idea, handy guard dog. It's a guard dog equipped with a robotic arm which collects samples, super credits, medals, requisitions within 25-meter radius. Yes, containers and bunkers have to be opened first. It also can help you to open the bunkers alone, which I quite like the idea of. It's almost like an auto pickup. I don't know if I would utilize that backpack over, well, pretty much anything else. Imagine imagine having a actual guard dog or having a arm to be able to pick up samples and ammo and stuff like that. I don't think that I would be utilizing that one all that often. Well, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Although this next one right here states, I had a level 15 guy in Super Helldive in my game playing bugs. Poor guy died 15 times within the first 5 minutes. I gave him the Hellbomb backpack, armed it, and said you got 10 seconds to get into that hole. Now run. My team blasted our guns in the air while watching him handing out managed democracy. We, of course, failed the mission because he spent all of our reinforcements, but my god, what a hero. Now, I absolutely love this game just solely on the way that it is that you guys actually act with each other, regardless of the level movement. The community is probably the best thing about Helldivers 2, and that I think stems from all content creators alike, all players, and even people inside of the studio. We're all aware that you guys are pretty much the best thing to come out of this game. And finally, this one states right here, I've decided the disappearing ultimatum rounds bug is simply a few duds in the ammunition supply to be expected when weapon only recently developed. I'm sure our armory technicians are hard at work refining their manufacturing processes as we speak. That is, unless they prefer to face the wall. Now, unfortunately, this is not just a movement with the ultimatums, and even though it is because it is a new weapon, people are suspecting that that was what the case was, although this is running into EATs and so much more. So we'll have to wait and see exactly how this one operates, but it does seem that they are definitely frustrated trying to get this one nailed down. With that being said, though, that's unfortunately we've got time for today. If you haven't already, smash that like button, subscribe, post notifications turned on. Thanks again for watching, guys. Appreciate you all, and as always, up until next time, I'll see you in the clouds.